Great, so now I'm starting my class. Beautiful. So what are we doing here? Says the Torah, this is written in Mesilat Yesharim, the path of the just. It answers like this. Lo nivrach ha'adam ela bishbil le'itanek be'Hashem. A person was only created for one reason, to enjoy from God. That sounds good? Great. Why did God create you? Just as when you're hungry you need to eat, God is so good, He created you in order to give you. Because I'm good, but I need someone to give to, right? That's how it works. This is what God created you. What's the world to come? You ever heard this idea, the world to come, Olam Haba? Olam Haba is being attached to the ultimate source of goodness. What am I going to do there? I'm going to be attached to God. Because if I'm attached to God, I have everything. You don't have money, you marry the son of a millionaire, you're set for life. You know, Kate Middleton's type. That's good, right? So what is the world to come? I'm going to be attached to God, enjoying from His goodness. So then, you should ask me, but Raquel, you're saying I was created in order to have pleasure. Do you walk around and you see people? Do they look happy to you? You ever notice this? You know what's that movie? What's that movie? Do I look happy to you? What's that movie? I forgot it. Oh no, with Kirsten Dunst. Whatever, I forgot this movie, what it was, but the point is, do you look around and you see people look happy? Yeah or no? No. I was like, God, you created me in order to have pleasure, but it doesn't look like I'm having so much pleasure. Maybe a little bit, you know, but not real pleasure. You know, there was a song that came out this year, I'm sure you know it, because it's the #1 song after Let It Go from Frozen, you know? But this is the #1 song. Every single country in the world made a video about this song. Who knows which song I'm talking about? Happy, because I'm happy, clap along if you feel like happiness. Hope men are not watching this video, because I'm just singing along, whatever. Okay, so the point is, right? Why did it become such a hit? You ever thought about this? You know what that song is about? The song is about being happy for no reason. Shouldn't we always be happy? Doesn't matter why. You know why that song is such a big hit? This is the ugly truth. Because no one ever made a song about being happy. For no reason except for, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. That's pretty much the only other song that talks about happiness. I started thinking about this and I'm like, oh my God, that's so depressing. There's no one ever thinks you should just be happy. You know, because people are not happy. Why? Maybe we're just doing the wrong search for happiness. You ever think about this, by the way? What do you think you would need in order to be happy according to world standards and values? Money, fame, yeah? Honor and materialistic pleasure. Who has all of these things? Celebrities. Is there anyone that's more unhappy than celebrities? The other day I was in the gym. Whenever I'm in the gym, always TV comes out and I see something. I've never seen this show because I think it's the most stupid show in the planet, but I was changing it and it happened to be, I saw 2 minutes of it. Thank you, God, for allowing me to see how polluted the world is. I'm sorry if you like this show and I'm just gonna ruin it for you, but whatever, that's life, you know, ugly truth. It was the Kardashians. Anyone ever seen this show? Okay, so I have to tell you this. I was so disgusted by this. There was Kim Kardashian that just got married or something like that with her friend, and they were talking about going pole dancing. I was like, really? You go pole dancing when you're married? Like, what the heck? Get a life. And the mother came down. The mother of Kim Kardashian, how old is she? This lady is probably like at least 50. She likes the Kardashians. I just insulted her. Right. But this lady is at least 50 years old. So she comes down and she's like, so you girls, what you talking about? And they're like, oh, we're going to go pole dancing. You want to come? And Kim is like, really? You're inviting my mom to come pole dancing with us? Whatever. And the lady's like, sure, just let me go change. She goes change, 2 minutes. This is all I needed. She was wearing a leotard or something like this with heels this size. She was going pole dancing with her daughter. No one else thinks this is disgusting, just me, because this is weird. And then she kept on saying how cool she is because she knows how to enjoy life even when she's 50. How depressing is that? You know? It looks like everyone that's looking for happiness is not looking in the real place because they're unhappy. You know how you know? Because a happy person doesn't need to be outrageous and do more and more and more. A happy person is satisfied. He doesn't need much more to be happy. So the question is, God, you brought me into this world in order to have pleasure, but it doesn't look like I'm getting it. So why am I here? So God says, pleasure is for the world to come. In this world, you have to work hard. So my real question right now is, what am I doing here? You want to know? You want to know? Okay, fine. No one is yelling because, fine. Okay. So what am I really doing here? So the question I'm going to address is, what am I doing in this world? I'm going to give you 2 answers, then I'm going to cancel them, then I'm going to give you answer number 3, and that's the answer, but I need to say the first 2. Great, works well. She likes me, so I'm going to look at you. She's making me happy. I'm joking. All of you make me happy, but she's just smiling so much, okay, because she likes Kim Kardashian also. But the point is, so reason number 1, why am I here? Great, it goes like this. By the way, if you understand what I'm going to tell you right now, your perspective in life will change 100%, and you'll pretty much understand everything that goes on in the world. Yeah, you'll understand everything. Everything is going to change for you. So listen very well to what I'm going to say, because in a general category, it answers pretty much everything. So it goes like this. Reason number 1, why am I here? If God will put you in the world to come and give you ultimate pleasure, you would live from something that we call the bread of shame. Yeah? Because God gave you pleasure for free. And we know that no pain, no gain. The more that you work hard for something, the more you value it. Yes or no? 100%. You could never compare working hard to just getting something for free. Even though in this generation we like being comfortable, would you ever want to marry someone that's 45 and still living unsupported by his parents? No, right? If they give you some gifts, maybe you'll just stay quiet for a little bit, but you don't want this. You want someone that knows how to work hard, someone that knows how to earn. Life, it's about earning. The harder you work, the more you'll enjoy. Imagine the first guy that ever climbed Mount Everest. So he climbed the highest mountain, the most difficult. There's a discussion which one. He's at the top of Mount Everest, and there's like someone waiting to interview him, the guy in the helicopter, the interviewer, whatever. 5 people are on top of Mount Everest looking down. Who do you think is enjoying the view the most? Who do you think? The one that climbed. No comparison. They're all looking at the same thing, but they're not really. One of them sees his effort. You know, like Miley Cyrus says, not that I really like her, but I think this song is amazing. It's my favorite song. Life is a climb, but the view is amazing. That's life. By the way, just to add this, I'm not saying this as a joke, but imagine you were training for the Olympics. Who's the person that you hate the most while you're training? Your coach, your trainer. Who's the person that you love the most when you win? The trainer. Guess what? God is training you. This is why sometimes you're not really happy with him. But I want to tell you a little secret. You never know what you're capable of doing until you're pushed to the limits. Do you? Ever. So God is training you and pushing you to the limits because it brings you to a new recognition of who you really are. This is why your life is so hard. Because I'm building myself and I'm getting somewhere, and therefore I need to push myself. And God says, if you're not going to push you, I'm going to push you. But there's nothing like effort and gaining, and there's nothing like that. And that's what you're doing here. By the way, I do want to tell you something. In this world, people think that comfortable equals pleasure. Yeah? Now let me ask you a logical question. Do you have things that your father, your parents, and your great-grandparents never thought about having? Yes or no? Would you say they were probably happier than you? Yes or no? 100%. This generation, oh my God, whenever I'm teaching a group of Jewish girls, I always ask them, what are you studying? 40% of Jewish girls always study psychology. Aren't you worried you're not going to have clients? No. Everyone is depressed. How could it be? We have so much. You know, my nieces and nephews, they're like millionaires. If you don't take them to like Chuck E. Cheese to spend some money, you have Chuck E. Cheese in England? Oh my God, you've been deprived. Dave and Buster's, something like that. We don't have it in Panama either. But you know, we go to America a lot. Okay, whatever. But my nieces and nephews live in Mexico anyways. But the point is, nowadays, I'm sure you could see this with your nieces and nephews, if you don't do something that requires spending money, they're not happy. You used to go to the park and be happy, you know? You used to go ride your bicycle and be happy. Nowadays, you need like Xbox, PlayStation, Play whatever, and then like 15,000 iPhones, you know, to be happy. Why? We don't know what it means to work hard, and therefore we don't derive enjoyment anymore. Not only that, I want to tell you a real idea. We came into this world in order to have pleasure, yeah? How do I get pleasure? Pleasure comes from feeling a lacking, yes or no? When you have a lacking and you feel it, you derive pleasure. Therefore, listen to a real rule in life. Comfortable doesn't equal pleasure, but rather pain equals pleasure. Because if pleasure comes from feeling a lacking, then the greater the lacking, the greater the enjoyment. You heard this? I'll say it again. The greater the lacking, the greater the enjoyment. If I touch my husband every day, do I get so excited? Believe me, no one does. But if you touch him 2 weeks a month, every time you touch, you know that song? Baby, it's like fireworks. right? You get so excited because you haven't touched him for like 2 weeks, you know? If you eat a chocolate every day, do you enjoy that chocolate? If you have it once a month, you know, it's like, wow. That's why we all love fasting in Yom Kippur, because then you have all this food waiting for you afterwards, right? So it was only because I spoke about Kim Kardashian. No, I'm joking, right? So what is the deal? The deal is like this. The greater the lack, the greater the enjoyment. By the way, if you understand this, you'll appreciate your lackings. Because if it wasn't because you lacked something, you wouldn't be able to enjoy it so much afterwards, right? You waited much more than your friend to get married, but I could guarantee you that you appreciate your husband much more. Guaranteed. You waited much more than someone to have children, or you didn't have so much money growing up. You appreciate everything, right? The greater the lacking, the greater the enjoyment. Therefore, reason number one, why am I here? I'm here to work hard. The more I work hard, the more I enjoy it. No pain, no gain. By the way, this is what Olam Haba is. You guys know Hebrew? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, doesn't matter. Anyways, I'll put this here so it looks like I'm teaching something. Great. The word Olam in Hebrew comes from the word Ne'elam, which means hidden. Why is the world called Olam? Because who's hiding here? God. He's playing hide and seek. You see him, you don't. I'll tell you why he's hiding later, right? Haba could also mean to come. Yeah, you could say the world to come, or Haba could also mean like inside. Tabo inside, come inside. What's the world to come? Listen to it, it's beautiful. The world to come is what's hidden inside. Whatever you built for yourself, that's what you're going to enjoy. You remember the story of the 3 little piggies? One made a house out of wood, one made a house out of straw, one made a house out of brick. Was it a punishment when the wolf came and blew the house? It wasn't a punishment, it was a consequence. If you never built anything, you could never enjoy from anything. By the way, I do want to tell you something. By definition, physical pleasure, it doesn't matter how much you have, it's never complete pleasure. Why? Because physicality is limited. This is why all of these people looking for happiness that way, they're not enjoying it. By definition, only spiritual pleasure could be real pleasure. Why? Because spirituality is unlimited. But I need to develop a sense to enjoy that pleasure. Could you ever explain to a blind person what color is blue? Yes or no? Never. Why would you say it's a mixture between purple and red? Well, he doesn't know what's purple and red. Some of us are blind when it comes to spirituality. And therefore, even if it would hit us on the face, we wouldn't enjoy it. And therefore, God says, learn how to enjoy it. Learn how to work for it. And there's no pleasure like that. Moving on, reason number 2. Why am I here? Great. Could you ever enjoy fully from something you don't know? Yes or no? Could you ever enjoy fully from something you don't know? Imagine you take 2 children to Disneyland. One of them knows every Disney movie, right? One of them doesn't know anything. Who do you think is enjoying Disneyland much more? 100%. You go to Disneyland with me, my husband goes crazy. I'm like looking at the princess show and I get so excited and I make a line to going to the kiddie rides of like Ariel's Grotto and Belle's Enchanted Tale, and my husband is like, really, you're putting me here? And we paid so much money, we're going to every single ride. You're joking? I'm like, no, I'm not. And the whole time, whenever there's a show, he's like, Raquel, please do not volunteer, do not volunteer, do not volunteer. He's just so scared. And I'm having the best time ever. I want to see every show, everything, because I love Disney, yeah? Remember when you went to a concert and you didn't know the artist? Either you were high, or your friend was high, or someone was high. That's pretty much what they do at this trance concert, Avicii. What do I call them? How much could you bang your head? That's why everyone's like high. You know, but the point is, right? The more you know something, the more you enjoy it. There was a guy that came to his rabbi and said, Rabbi, I want to find holiness. So the rabbi said, you want to find holiness? You need to go to a holiest place on earth. The kotel, or how you call it, the koisel. So the guy goes all the way to the koisel, he spent $3,000, and then he comes back and he says, Rabbi, I did not find any holiness. So the rabbi said, how could it be? Everyone wants a piece of that wall. How could it be you didn't find any holiness? So the guy says, I don't know why, but I want my money back guaranteed. You know, it's a good Jew. So the rabbi says, I give you your money back, one condition. I want you to go outside and look for kakushkas. Bring me kakushkas, I give you your money back. So the guy goes like, what, is that Russian? What are you talking about? You know? So the rabbi said, bring me kakushkas and I'll give you your money back. So the guy says, Rabbi, how do you expect me to find kakushkas if I don't even know what they are? So the rabbi answers him, do you know what holiness is? How do you expect to find holiness if you don't know what it is? Guess what? What's the world to come? It's total attachment to God. But if I don't know God, can I ever enjoy from Him? No, because I don't know Him. Therefore, what did I come to do in this world? Reason number 2, I came to get to know God. Because the more that I know God, the more I enjoy from Him. When do you love your partner the most? When you're newlywed or when you're married for 40 years? If the marriage is going well. 40 years. When you're newlywed, you think you know what love is. I could tell you, no love. It's just like butterflies, and it's the most fake thing ever. When you're married, even though you're fighting every single day, you suddenly develop love. Why? Because the rule in life is like this. The more you know, the more you love. Love is directly proportional to knowledge. This is why you love much more One Direction than you love Carlos Santana or something like that, because you don't even know what the guy is, right? The more you know, the more you love. Therefore, the more that I get to know God, the more that I get to fall in love with Him. But listen to this. It's not only not enough to get to know God, I need to get to be like God. You know how people always say, you only appreciate your parents when you become a parent. Because now you see everything they did, all of the effort that they did, all of the sacrifice. The more that you develop in yourself qualities that you appreciate in others, the more that you appreciate it in them. People that have good sense of humor always fight each other. And you're like, why are they laughing? And you're just like, you don't know, because you don't have it. So it's not in you, But when you develop something in yourself that others have, you appreciate it much more. So guess what we're really doing here? We're really getting to get to know God and be like God. By definition, you know how I become like God? By perfecting myself. What does it mean to perfect myself? To get to be godly. I'm going to tell you an idea. Again, you think about what I'm going to say right now. Everything in your life changes perspective. Everything. There was once a Roman guy that came to Rabbi Akiva. You ever heard of Rabbi Akiva? Famous rabbi. He said like this, Rabbi Akiva, doesn't it say in your Torah that God is good? So Rabbi Akiva said, God is great. I love Him. Listen to it. So the Roman guy said, if God is so good, why did He create poor people? You ever asked this question? Good question, no? If God is so good, why did He create poor people? Listen to the answer. He said like this, God created poor people in order to allow the rich to give. Beautiful. What's the quality, the essential quality that defines God? He's a giver, yeah? That's why He created you, to give good to you. But in order to give, there needs to be someone in the other side to receive. So that's why God created you with so many lackings, so that you could give to each other. But by doing that, you become like God. Do people grow more from easy life or from hard lives? Hard lives. Sometimes you see people that had a horrible life, but they shine. Why? Because they chose to grow from that. And they became like God. If you understand this, you'll be thankful to your family that drives you crazy, because they allow you to work on your weaknesses. And you'll be thankful to your husband. If there's someone that is ever going to drive you crazy, it's your husband. You know how they say opposite attracts? It doesn't mean that you like different things. No. It means like when you were caught like this. And therefore, everything he has, you need to fix. Everything you have, he needs to fix. Imagine having someone reminding you all day about everything you're not good at. That's a horrible thing. But at the same time, only when you're married could you perfect yourself. Because you're put in a situation that you always have to push yourself to be better. Because you want to be a good wife. And you want to give to each other. It's the best thing in the world. But it's hard work. You know how in the movies they always say, and they live happily ever after, and the movie is gone? You know why? Because they don't want to show you what happens next. First fight. Guaranteed. But if I understand that I came into this world in order to be like God, in order to give, then would I appreciate so much my husband that allows me to give to him? Yes or no? Yes. Would I think of myself giving him a favor? No. Who's doing a favor to whom? The rich to a poor or the poor to a rich? The poor to the rich, because the poor allow the rich to give. If you understand this, your whole life comes into perspective. One day I went to Rami Levy. Rami Levy is like the #1 supermarket in Israel. Great. I like it. I mean, I think it's the number one, but you know, Usher, Adam, I think it's competition, so don't tell them I say anything. So it's two big supermarkets for religious people, whatever. So I'm in Rami Levy. I work like 24 hours a day. So of course, when do I go shopping? At night. It was the night before Pesach. It's like the movie, twice before Christmas, you know, whatever. The night before Pesach. Could you imagine how much people were in the supermarket? I cannot explain to you. You have to wait for parking and for someone to empty up their cart in order to be able to do anything. So I'm standing there in line to pay for an hour and a half, okay? Now, Rami Levy is really nice. Sometimes they hire people that have this ability in order to pack your bags, which I think it's really nice because it allows them to be independent. But in my opinion, a cashier should know math. Like, this is a must. You're a cashier, you know? So I'm standing in a line. There's 3 people in front of me. The guy that's paying, I am not joking, he paid 276 shekels, but he gave her 300 shekels. This is easy math. How much you have to give back? Don't answer in case you're going to say it incorrect in TV. Right? You have to give back 24 shekels. That's hard? No. The lady didn't know how to count. I'm not joking. She counted all the way to 300 shekels to make sure there were 300. And then she counted 276 shekels. Right? And then she took it out. This took her more than half an hour. You have to add to this that Israelis have a quality called chutzpah. You know what it is, chutzpah? They do not care what you think, and everyone likes to get on each other's business. I think it's a good thing, because if not, they would never move forward, because this is like a small country, and we need to push ourselves. But sometimes it's like crazy. So the guy in my cashier starts yelling at the lady, so everyone else starts yelling at him to stop yelling, and you do not know this was like Jumanji, crazy. Everyone's like yelling at each other. So right now I'm thinking, what are you gonna do? Suddenly I realize this lady speaks Spanish. I'm like, oh my God, if she knows I speak Spanish, it's gonna be so embarrassed. What should I do? Everyone in my line started leaving, so now I have a choice. If I leave the line, I, number one, will embarrass this lady. Number two, it might cost her her job, yeah? Because no one wants to hire a cashier like this. So I decided this was a test made for Raquel. Patience is not my virtue. You know, I'm one of these people. Please say you're like me so I don't have to feel so bad. Counting for me, it's like math. I could do like multiplications of like 5 digits in like, I'm not joking. I could play backgammon. You know when you're playing backgammon with people, you know what's backgammon? Please tell me you play this in England. Great. And there's black and white. And everyone's like counting 1, 2, 3. And you're like, there's black and white because it's odd and even. It's not so hard. You know what I'm talking about? And then when you're playing Rummikub and they pick up 14 pieces and they go 1, 2. And you're like, oh my God, just stack them up. Who's like me, please? Great. So I was standing there and I'm like, oh my God, God just sent this test to me because this is how I'm gonna fix myself. I played a little bit of Candy Crush. That helped to kill some time because it was an hour and a half. I decided to call everyone on my phone list to wish them Yom Tov Sameach, you know? But I left Rami Levy feeling like I passed my test. And everyone else probably left angry, you know? If you understand that you came to be like God, you'd appreciate every opportunity to work on yourself. And your whole perspective in life changes. By the way, when God created man, listen to this. The Pasuk says like this, and God said, let's make man. What's wrong with this quote? Let's make man. What's wrong? Na'aseh Adam. It should have said, let make man, right? In single. Yeah, beautiful. That's my friend over there. Why does it say, let's make man? So Rashi, the main commentary, says an idea. It's not the one I want, but anyways, I'll tell you, because general culture. Rashi said that God wanted to teach you humility. Therefore, he humbled himself to consult with the angels to create man in order to teach you humility. Whenever I think of this, I'm like, wow, God humbled himself to teach you to be humble. Crazy. But you know why it say, let's make man? You know why it say, let's make man, right? Because in reality, you know what God is saying? Let's make man, you and I. I'm going to give you a body. I'm going to give you a soul. I'm going to give you talents. You need to make a man out of that. This is why when God created human being, it doesn't say, and God saw it was good. Because guess what? You're not good the way you were created. You're work under construction. And it's okay to make mistakes, but I need to know that I came here to grow. This is why God made you out of the earth. You know what's the earth's main quality? Fertility. Everything you put on it grows. We want to grow, not this way, this way. We want to grow. This is why when we're not growing, we're not happy, because we're going against our nature. So reason number 2, why am I here in the world? I came to get to know God and to get to be like God. Because the more that I am like God, the more that I enjoy Him. One time there was a guy working on metal. So you know how you work on metal? You heat it up, right? So that his kid came and said, Daddy, how long are you going to heat up the metal for? So the father answered, until I could see my reflection on it. Then I know it's pure. Have you ever met people that you could see God's reflection on them? I bet you there were people that didn't have easy lives. You ever met a father that had a child with a disability, right? You wouldn't want this test. It's a hard test. But would you want to be a father like that? Yes or no? 100%, right? You came into this world in order to mirror God's image. But now let's do reason number 3. So I'm going to cancel everything I said, right? So get on it. So I said we came into this world in order to not live from the bread of shame. Yeah? But now, so what are we doing here? We're earning the world to come. So the Chovot HaLevavot, a famous book called Duties of the Heart, asks a question. Could you ever really earn the world to come? Because imagine, before coming to this world, you owed the world to come. Yeah? Now that you came here, not only do you owe the world to come, you also owe this world. Because if someone gives you $20, how much do you owe them? 20. Someone gives you 100, 100. Imagine how much do you owe God. That every second He's giving you life, health, family, friends, clothing, shoes. You know how it goes, right? How much do you think you owe Him? Everything. Says the Torah. This is not a good business deal. Before I came here, I only owed the world to come. Now that I'm here, I also owe this world. So what are we doing here? So says the Torah, an amazing thing. You might say that you came to earn it. How? By doing mitzvot. We know what mitzvot is? The commandments. Listen to this, because if it wouldn't be written, you wouldn't believe this. The Torah says like this. In the future, a voice is going to come out of the Temple Mount, and it's going to say like this, right? Anyone that ever kept a commandment, come and request for your reward. So you're going to say, God, I kept Shabbat. You're going to say, God, I kept Kashrut. You're going to say, God, I put a mezuzah on my house, or a mezuzah, whatever. God, I did a brit milah, circumcision. Yeah? Listen to this. And then God is going to say, did anyone ever put a mezuzah before I gave them a house? Did anyone ever circumcise their child before I gave them a child? Stop one moment. Not stop, don't think about it. Stop, think about it. You ever notice this? There's nothing God ever requests from you until He gave you something greater before. You ever notice this? Nothing. Anything God ever asked from you, it's only after He gave you something 1,000 times greater. But you never notice what you give, what you get. You only notice what you give. This is why we're not happy. Imagine someone that doesn't have children and they just come and they say, oh, you want to have a child? Just circumcise him. Are you joking? Give me 15. You know? God doesn't ask you to put a mezuzah if you don't have a house. You don't have to circumcise a child if you don't have a child. But God gave you a huge gift. He's only asking for a little bit. One time in the gym, I was watching Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Anyone has seen the show? My favorite show. We started late, right? So I was watching the show. There was a couple that didn't have dishes. Yeah? Why? Because their house was falling apart. So when they remodeled the house, they got dishes. They were so happy to have dishes because now they could use them. I started thinking, I love this show. It makes me appreciate everything I have. I started thinking about every single person that complains about washing dishes. You know what's a dish? Listen to this. It's number 1, a dish you have. Number 2, a person in your family. Number 3, a person you're able to feed. Isn't that a beautiful dish? You know, people that live on the street, they never do laundry. Would you want to be them? No. Is the glass half empty or half full? Half empty and half full. Half empty, you'll be depressed. Half full, you'll be happy forever. Or like my student said, you should be happy you have a glass to fill. There's nothing God ever requests from you without giving you something greater first. But now let's take it. Now I'm going to give you the answer, right? Listen to it. So we said we came into this world in order to earn the world to come, but I could never really earn it. And I might say, but hello, I'm doing so many mitzvot. Yeah, but there's no mitzvah you could ever do if God doesn't give you a chance. So what are we really doing here? So now let's define terms. What does it mean to live from the bread of shame? Yeah? Shame means when someone gives you something and you don't even know them, right? Let's say you're bar minan, someone doesn't have a family, and someone gives them money to pay for their wedding. Are they embarrassed? Yes or no? Of course, because I don't know you, right? How embarrassed do you get? Depends on 2 things. How big is the gift that I'm getting? And how much of a stranger is the person giving me the gift? Yes or no? 100%. But now let's say your best friend or your husband comes home on your birthday and doesn't give you a gift. Are you okay with that? It is hello and goodbye forever, you know? Because when you love someone and you know someone loves you, not only do you want to get, you expect to get. And even though you told your husband or your friend, no, I don't need anything, in your mind, you're really considering they're making you a huge surprise party and giving you 15,000 gifts, you know? So this is not a good business deal. By the way, just want you to know, problems of communication, when a man hears something, that's what he hears. A woman, when she says something, there's like subtitles. I don't want anything, but really I don't want to ask you, but I want you to think about it. Man hears, she doesn't want anything. Great, let's save money. Just so you know, by the way, right? By the way, how good is a gift depends on two things. How much money the person giving you the gift has, yeah? And how close he is to you, yeah? Your rich uncle will give you something better than your poor uncle. Just a question. Is there anyone that loves you more than God? Is there anyone that has more to give you than God? He chose the Torah. Maybe you should check it out. Check it out, check it out. Yeah? But now let's really finish. Now I'm giving you the last punching line. Yeah? If I would have been put in the world to come from the beginning, I would have been embarrassed forever. Because there's the biggest stranger giving me the biggest ultimate pleasure. So I would have been embarrassed forever. Because who are you, God, that you're giving me the world to come? But now that I came into this world, could I ever earn the world to come? No, because how could you ever pay it back? But you know what you could earn? You could earn a relationship. And when there's a relationship, there's no shame. Because not only do you want to get, you expect to get. And how much the stronger your relationship is, the more you want to get. And how do I build that relationship, you may ask? Says the Zohar, from the moment God created the world, he hid himself and said, I want to have a relationship with you, but I can't force myself into you. I want you to want to have a relationship with me. God says, I want to have a relationship with you, but I can't force myself. I want you to want me. Listen to this, says the Zohar. From the moment God created the world, he hid himself, and he said, I'm only coming in if you're inviting me. You know how do we invite God? Whenever we do a mitzvah, we're inviting God. You put a mezuzah on your house. You say, God, thank you so much for giving me a beautiful house. Come in, be part of it. You're saying a blessing on your food. God, thank you so much for feeding me. Come be part of it. You're doing a brit milah. God, thank you so much for giving me a baby. Be part of it. And the more that you connect to God, the stronger your relationship is and the less shame there is. I just finished with this story, I promise you. There was a convert that checked out every single religion. And then he found out he wanted to be Jewish. So someone came to him and asked, why did you like Judaism out of everything? What is it from Judaism that picked you up, you know? So he said, the way that Jewish people tie up their shoes. You ever heard this? There's a Jewish way to tie up your shoes. You put your right shoe, then you put your left shoe, then you tie up your left shoe, then you tie up your right shoe. Easy mitzvah. Right, left, tie up right. So the guy looks at him and he says, really? This is what you like about Judaism? There was nothing else better? You know, like there's like Purim, Hanukkah, whatever. Tying up your shoes? Listen to the answer because it sums up everything. The guy says, you don't understand. A God that wants to be with me, even when I'm putting up my shoes. That's a God I want to have a relationship with. When you love somebody, you know, you want to be with them all day. God loves you so much, he wants to be with you even when you're putting on your shoes. Welcome to Judaism.